Hello, welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, making it simple. I'm Dizzy Juggler, and this is our tutorial series to help you get the most out of Microsoft Flight Simulator and make your flight simming experience better. Our goal is to make sense of all of this and hopefully avoid this. Let's get right into this episode.
Oh, well. Okay, here we are, right about where we were last time. This is part 2 of a 2-part tutorial on flying the Airbus A320, A330, the Beluga, and I believe also the A321. So it was a different day. I had to change day because it was actually becoming night. So it's not the greatest weather today, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not a problem. In this video, for the rest of the flight, we're going to also include the Autoland. Hands off, boys and girls. Okay, so here we are. We've passed 10,000. At 10,000, we turned our landing lights off, our seatbelt signs off, and for the heck of it, we turned off the non-smoking signs, so smoke them if you got them. We're coming up on our cruise altitude of 15,000 feet right now. And it's cruise time. Cruise.
Maintain vertical speed. Maintain.
Easy, buddy. Take it easy. Okay, so we're all set to cruise here. We have about, let me check the map. We can zoom out here to about 80. Let's see, right here, looking for this guy here, this white arrow. Maybe I can zoom in on that if I don't mess things up. There we go. This white arrow right there is our top of descent. That's where we need to start descending if we want to make the runway on time. So we have about, what is that, about 50 miles or so to go. So we don't have a lot to do right now. Normally, you might be on a flight that's many hours long. You would have nothing to do.
We're good. X-ray tree 70 heavy. Please expedite your climb 15,000.
Yeah, he's going to harass us. We'll ignore him. What I'm saying, we're at 15. So I forgot what I was saying. Cruise. Our cruise isn't going to be very long. We'll get there pretty quickly. So we're going to start setting up for the descent and the approach right away. So let's get right into that. So the other little thing I just want to mention here that you could do at this point is change this from above to below when you are at cruise level. It's not a big deal, but for the simulation purposes, but we'll do that. So let me go to this and bring up this guy. Okay, so if you're not, I don't want to do a whole EFB tutorial here, but if you're not familiar how this thing works, let's bring this back up. If you want to get more information about one of the airports you have in here, you press this little I and it brings up this section down here and you can check out information on that airport. So we want to actually look at our arrival airport, which is LRF. So here's LRF. I'm going to go to the chart. We're going to do the approach and we're doing 3-4 left. So if you actually click on this, it'll give you all of the charts for 3-4 left, but you can see there's a green border there that signifies it's the one that we've selected. So it makes it nice and easy for us. Okay. At this point, I would like to discuss a thing I came up with. What do you call that thing? Acronym. I came up with an acronym. That's what they're called. Okay, the acronym is SAD LAST. SADLLAS, another S, and T. SA is for setup, altitude, auto brakes. D is for descend. LL is for landing system and lights. A is for approach, autopilot 2 and approach. S is for slow down. The second S is for spoilers. And T is for touchdown, idle, reversers. For this stage right now, the SA is the one we're concerned with, which is setup, altitude, auto brakes. So what we need to do is set up our approach and the altitude we want to descend to for our approach. And we're going to turn on the auto brake to whatever setting we may need. This is the chart for 3-4 left at Fiumicino. And what we're going to do, it shows here, but I think we're off the map. I think we're actually out this way somewhere. We're going to be coming along like that and then coming in. Now, I've entered Odula in the flight plan. I'm going to see if something happens here. Usually they give us radar, and this will give me an opportunity to show you how to use the MCDU to change your approach or your arrival if you have to. So if they do tell us to do radar, that'll be great because you'll learn one more thing. But in any case, we're going to be coming from roughly this direction anyway. So we're coming in here, we're going to make a turn, and we're going to head towards the runway right here. What's important here is this section right here. We're going to be descending, and right here we should be leveling off at about 2,500 feet. And then right here on this P is where the final descent happens as we slide into the runway. This section here from this IF to the P is kind of like this section right here. This is a cross section of the approach. So we'll be coming along here at 2,500. So this is the altitude we want to enter now because that's what we're going to be descending to. So in order to tell the computer, to initiate the descent procedure, basically the descent procedure, we need to enter this altitude. The other thing we want to grab from here is this 220. So what you have here is basically as you go towards the left, it lists the more precise approach. And we're doing a Cat 3 approach for this flight, but we don't have Cat 3 here. So the most precise we have here is the Cat 1. So we want the most precise minimum. This is just a minimum to put into the computer. I'll show you where that goes in a moment. Okay. This guy, I'm just going to have to talk over him. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first phase we're going to get started right away is the SA phase. That's of SAD last. That is the setup, altitude, and auto brakes. So we're going to set up our approach. To do that, we need to go over to this guy here. We want to go to the dashboard page. This here is the arriving airport. This is the METAR data. So we need to do an update there. That's basically the weather local at the airport. So we have here this number that starts with Q. That's our QNH.
X-ray tree 70 heavy. Please expedite your climb 15,000.
We're going to enter that. We're going to get rid of these errors here. We're going to enter that into the MCDU here. You're going to press performance. Next phase. You want to be on the approach page here. And I forget what the... this was a 1003. I can't even read it. 100 tree. We're going to pop that right in there. The next thing we need is temperature. Back over here, you see the temperature is, oh, that's a strange one. 14, usually it's two numbers here, a number slash and a number. It's the temperature and dew point. Anyway, the first number here is the temperature. 14 is what we want. We want a 14. Pop that right there. Next is the wind direction and velocity. Back over here. This is the wind. It's coming from 030 at 19 knots. So we want a 0, 0, tree, 0, at 19, I think, is what it was. We'll double check that. 030 at 19. 030 19. And the next thing we need is we have to go to the chart. I'm just going to go to the pause menu. In the chart, so we want this here. We said earlier we want this one here is the 220, and you can either enter it in radio or baro. Baro, I believe you have to add the runway elevation, and if you need the runway elevation, you would go here, and tree 4 left is here, and you see elevation, and you'd add 6. Sometimes, you know, the runway could be many hundreds feet or even 1,000 or more feet, so you'd have to add that to the barrel, I believe is how that works. We're not using barrel, we're using a radio. Now go back here. 2 0 to the radio. So that's our setup for the approach. Then we need the altitude. We want to pop in here. We're not going to actually start descending. We're just going to put it in
Adjust vertical speed.
so that it's set for us. And we want 2,500. So to change from 1,000 foot increments to 100 foot increments, you click that ring, and now we can go by 100s. 250 is set. We will activate that when we get a little bit closer to our top of descent, which is coming up quickly here. The other thing we need to do is auto brake. So we're going to do a low auto brake. We have a pretty long runway. We have lots of space to stop. If you had a short runway or you were coming in very heavy, you might use medium or max, but we don't need that for this flight today. So we're at cruise for a bit longer, another 20 miles. There isn't anything to do during cruise except monitor all your instruments and the airplane that everything is behaving. If you notice here, I'm going to zoom in. When we entered that radio, we got this came up here so we can see what our minimum is that we've entered. Also, obviously, you can see your autopilot, your flight directors are both on, auto throttle is on, and other statuses regarding the autopilot there. So the next thing we're going to do is hit our D in SAD last. That is the descend stage. And to do that, we will, let me jump over here. We are going to jump on this knob here, and we will hit managed.
Cloud Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Please expedite your climb 15,000.
We're going to descend regardless. When we get a few miles away from that white arrow that is our top of descent, I'm hoping they will give us permission, but sometimes they don't, so we're going for it anyway. Otherwise, we're going to miss our landing. So we will do the managed mode here so that the computer takes care of everything. You could do selected and control your vertical speed yourself. You would use that maybe if things weren't going according to plan and maybe you needed to speed up your descent, you could select a steeper vertical speed. But hopefully we're going to get the computer to do everything and it'll all go well. So I want to talk about something here. There's a lot out there about approach mode. And in our case, for this flight with this airplane right now, there is some confusion in particular because there is approach mode and approach phase. Approach mode is a button on the FCU. And approach phase is a thing in the MCDU. So they're different. But I want to talk about approach mode in the context of when to activate approach mode. Now, approach mode is when we activate the glide slope and localizer for the airplane to grab the lateral and vertical profile of this descent here. So I am not a pilot. I've never even gone to ground school or anything like that. So I don't know the real official thing here, but here's what I think. So you see on Nitoon, Nevux, Nips, or not Nips, it doesn't have one, Odula, Odulum Blagada, and Radar. Above them, this IAF. IAF stands for Initial Approach Fix. This is basically the beginning of our approach, let's say. And this IF here is Intermediate Fix. And our final approach fix, which is FAF, you might have seen it if you were flying in a Cessna and you've entered a flight plan, you might see one of the waypoints. I believe it's in parentheses next to it, either IAF or FAF. Activating approach mode before we've reached the initial approach fix kind of doesn't make sense, because why would you activate approach when you're not on the approach yet? So I believe, or at least the way I do it, is I wait at least until I am after the initial approach fix, which for us, we'll see what happens here, because they may make us go to radar, so it'll be after radar, but the way we have the flight plan set up right now, it'll be after Odula. So I will activate it. My plan at this point, we'll see what happens, is to activate it after we've made a turn and we're headed directly towards the airport. Somewhere down in here, I'll activate approach mode. The thing about this Airbus, I believe the A320, the A330, the A321, and the Beluga all operate the same on this. For approach phase in the MCDU, if you do everything right and the game does everything right and it doesn't bug out, that gets activated automatically at a certain point. And I'll show you how to see when that should happen. I think doing it this way is kind of the cleanest and easiest way, and hopefully, I know as I say that, maybe everything will go wrong, but I've done it a number of times and it seems to work better, and it tells me that this is the correct way to do it.
Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Please expedite your climb.
Yeah.
15,000.
Okay, just some piece of information here just to educate you. This bottom line here is our destination. It's telling us roughly what time we should arrive, the distance we have to go, so we have 74 miles to go, and our extra fuel on board. When we land, we should have 26,000 kilos of fuel left, so we took on way too much fuel.
Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Please expedite your climb. 15,000.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, we have 5 miles to go.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust.
Gonna open the ATC window. Hopefully they give us instructions.
Clown Zulu X-ray.
Here we go. Nice.
0 heavy. Descend via Lima Alpha Tango Tree Romeo to 5,000. Expect ILS runway tree. Forward left approach via radar transition.
I just did active pause there. We're gonna acknowledge that.
Tree Romeo to 5,000. Expect ILS runway tree 4 left approach via radar transition. Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy.
Clown Zulu X-ray tree
And
70 heavy. Keep speed not above 230 knots.
Keep speed
Acknowledge.
not above 230 knots. Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy.
Okay, so there's a bunch going on here. So first thing is we're going to activate or initiate our descent. And like I said, we're going to do a managed descent. So I click that. I think it doesn't actually happen if you're in active pause. There we go. Okay. So now you can see here, it says we're in the descent phase here, or it's the airplane is descending. The other thing is they told us to descend to 5,000. Now, there are some constraints along the way, so we put in 2,500, but we'll be fine because there are constraints along the way that won't let us get that low prematurely. You could step down to the altitudes that they give you, it just gets really confusing in the simulator sometimes, and also sometimes their instructions are wrong. So we'll just leave it like this to simplify things. You could play around and go with what they tell you and see how it works out. The other thing is, which I wanted to happen so I could show you, we selected Odula as our approach. So now they're telling us to do, what is it called? Lima Alpha Tango Tree Romeo via Radar. So we need to go to the MCDU, and I'm going to show you how to change your approach here. So go to, well, we're in flight plan. Actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, will this work? This might not even work in active pause. No, see, it doesn't work in active pause. I'm going to take active pause out. Something bad happened. Oh, anti-ice, that's fine. I'm gonna slow down time. I think I need to turn on the anti-ice here. If I can remember where it is. There it is. Is it engine? Did it say engine? Anti-ice did engine 1 and 2. It wants me to do 1 and 2. Okay. 1 and 2. There we go. All right. Back to what we were doing. So let me back up here. So go to flight plan. We want to change to this LAT3R and Radar. So to do that, we're going to click on our destination here on this button. We're going to go arrival. We want to select ILS 34 left. And we want to find this, where is the LAT3R, which is this one. And we want to go via, and to move the list up, we want to click on Radar, then hit, if you want to cancel what you've done so far, you would hit erase. It's not really erase, you're just canceling and it puts it back the way it was originally, like before you started making changes. It doesn't erase what was there, it just annuls the changes you're trying to make. But we want to insert, and hopefully, above there, okay, we got 10 lat, 18 lat, Radar, RMC, intercept, and the runway. Looks good. Bum, bum, bum. So beyond that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to tell you guys. Right now, I think we have really nothing else to do. Oh, actually, there was something else. Let me bring the speed up again a bit. There, we're starting to move. I wanted to point out something. So now that we've started the descent, you can see this green dot here. And if we zoom out, you see this magenta dot. They correspond to each other. So we're going to keep an eye on those and see what happens down the road. Now, the only thing I want to tell you for now is we need to prevent this green dot from dropping below us. It can stay in line or above us, but we don't want it to drop below us. And if that were to happen, what you would have to do is come over here and change this to selected, and then you would adjust your vertical speed, probably increase your descent to try to catch up with that green dot. A couple other things I want to bring your attention to, as I said earlier about altitude restrictions. You can see this in magenta FL030. That is a 3,000 foot altitude restriction that we cannot go below. So the other thing is now we can zoom out our flight plan here and see how it's changed. Maybe I do it like this. Does that get better? Yeah. It's kind of messy. Maybe if I do that. Anyway, you can see now we're going this way and then making this like hook back and come around. I can also show it to you this way. Zoom out. So before we were coming like this and turning in straight and then like this. So now we're going this way to here and then doubling back and coming into the runway. So what's our speed here? Our time rather, sim rate is slow. We're gonna, there we go, back to normal speed. Did I mess anything up? Looks like everything is working correctly. We're at 25. Okay, we're descending. The green dot is above us. The magenta dot is ahead of us. Now the thing we're looking for here, just managing our descent until we get to 10,000 feet. And that's when we're going to do our next thing in the SAD last acronym, which is LL for landing system and lights. I apologize for the weather situation here. It's not a great view, but it's a tutorial. We're focused on the instruments anyway. So you can see that magenta dot getting close to us now. Let me zoom in a bit. It's only a couple of miles away. We're going to keep an eye on this green dot here. Now the magenta dot has moved over here. 11,500. Remember, we're waiting for 10,000 to do the landing system and the lights. We still have this altitude restriction of 3,000. Oh, I better put my constraints back on. There we go. So you can see there's a speed limit here, a speed constraint 230, and we are now at 230, and I didn't touch anything. The airplane did it all by itself. I haven't touched anything in terms of airplane descending except for activating the descent. It's doing everything else on its own. Getting close to 10,000. I'm just doing that because I think it might start giving us all kinds of alerts. So hopefully that setting will be quiet. We're coming up in 10,000. We're going to do the lights and the landing system. Notice here the green dot coming down. We're going to go up top for landing light, seat belts, and get it. And because we turned off the smoking, no smoking lights, we're going to turn those back on. And we need to turn on the landing system, which is that button there, and one on this side.
Descend. 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 Now.
Again, I'm not controlling the airplane. It's so far been doing everything on its own.
Descend. Descend. Crossing. Descend. Descend. Crossing. Descend.
I'm going to turn off anti-ice and see what happens. Does it give me an alert? Yes, so we're not out of trouble yet. That back on. 1 and 2. I really hope the weather breaks. We get close to the airport, but I got a feeling it ain't gonna. So the other thing coming up probably around 6,000 is we'll have to switch from switch our altimeter from standard to the local setting. Which, if you remember over here, we got 1003. ATC will give us an updated one. If it's changed, we could actually update this if we wanted to. And see if it's any different. It's 1004. Okay, we're getting below the clouds. We can see some stuff now. That's good. That's good. Again, we're doing nothing. Okay, see the green dot there. Looks like the green dot has leveled off with us, or we've leveled off with the.
X-ray, tree 70 heavy contact. Rome approach on 127.905. Good day.
Good day, sir. Acknowledging.
127.905. Clown Zulu X-ray, tree 70 heavy.
Zero 17.
Climb. Climb.
Rome approach. Clown Zulu X-ray, tree 70 heavy is passing 7,500, descending 5,000 by the Lima Alpha Tango, tree Romeo arrival.
There's a bogey.
Clown Zulu X-ray, tree 70 heavy. Rome approach. QNH 100 tree. Radar contact. Continue to 18 LAD.
Okay, so we have our diamonds here, our diamond for the glide slope, diamond for the lateral, oh my gosh, I always forget the word, but the lateral profile are there. We're locked onto this green dot for the moment. Still haven't touched anything. So our next thing in the SAD...
Zulu X-ray, tree 70 heavy. Keep speed not above 200 knots.
Climb now. Climb.
Keep speed not above 200 knots. Clown Zulu X-ray, tree 70 heavy.
Climb.
The next thing in SAD last is A for, let me, approach, an autopilot 2, and other approach with an asterisk beside it. So 6,000 coming up. We should see that STD flashing. Here we go. So I need to change this to QNH, and I think it was 1004. Uh, 004. We can change this one too. So our approach and what were they again? Autopilot 2 approach and approach.
70 heavy. Descend and maintain 3,700.
We're on it.
Descend and maintain 3,700. Clown Zulu X-ray, tree 70 heavy.
Descend now. Descend.
So the approach, autopilot 2 and approach is approach mode, autopilot 2, and approach phase.
Descend. Descend.
So for approach phase, we want to look here because I just want to keep that there. Okay, so you can see we are below the diamond, which is what we want. We want to come in below the diamond to be able to capture it.
Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Contact Fume Tower on
Yep.
127.625 when inbound.
Tower on 127.625. Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy.
So they said when we're inbound, so we're going to wait till we make this turn. I just want to active pause this for a second here. Let's do this and bring this up. And let's zoom in here. So I'm going to activate approach mode and autopilot 2, which you will see here AP1 and AP2 light up here. It'll show Cat 3 dual over here. That's what we want for the Autoland. Actually, that's what we need for the Autoland. So we'll do that as we make this turn and we get closer to 2,500. So we've passed that altitude restriction, so we're free to descend to 2,500. Oh, I have to come out of active pause. Nope, that's no good. It's still no good. I mean, if I zoom out. So I'm looking for these altitude restrictions. There's one here that says plus 2,500, so we cannot be below 2,500. We have to be higher than 2,500. The other thing I want to bring your attention to is, it's hard to see, but there's a magenta D right there. That magenta D is going to be very important. And let's see how I can do this. I guess like this. Keep an eye on this right here. Normally we would click that button and then click it again to confirm, but watch what happens if everything goes well when we reach that D. We're gonna tune to Fume, contact.
Fume Tower, Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy.
We're hitting approach
14
mode,
miles south. Inbound ILS runway
Autopilot
left
2.
approach.
Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Fume Tower. QNH 100 tree. Cleared ILS runway tree 4 left approach.
Cleared ILS runway tree for left approach. Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy.
I'm active pausing again. So we've been cleared for the approach, not cleared to land. So we have, you can see now it says Cat 3, AP1 and 2, Cat 3 dual here. We've got some blue stuff here. We're going to be keeping an eye on there. And the next thing we're looking for is, in our SAD last, is to start slowing down before that final descent. Let me bring up the chart. We want to start slowing down and be configured before we reach this point here. So that's what we're going to start doing now by deploying flaps 1 and 2, then gear, then full flaps.
Clear of conflict.
So flaps.
$2,500.
Coming up on that magenta D here on the nav display, watch what happens. There, it activated it automatically, so you don't even have to do it. Beauty, right? There's not much to do, really. Flaps 2, and you can see over here your flaps position. We have, it was a 1, now it's changed to 2. You can see we're slowing down right here. It's bringing the speed down. We are 8.5 miles out right now, right here. Gonna put the gear down. Localizer is being captured. You can see right here. That's, are we slowed? No, we're in normal speed. No sim, right? We got 3 green. Landing gear is down and locked. Glide slope is being captured. Localizer is being captured. Everything looking good so far. We're gonna go flaps 3. Slowing down more. Okay, we've got a headwind here. I should have picked a different runway, or the wind change, but we're gonna go full flaps. You can see there it's full flaps. We've got, we're gonna active pause again here. 2. You can see we've got our landing config notification here.
Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy, wind 006 and 16, cleared to land runway tree 4 left.
06
Clear
and
to land
16.
runway tree 4 left. Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy.
So when you get clear to land, you go up top and turn on your taxi lights and your runway turn off light. The other thing we need to do here, because of this notification here, we're gonna arm the spoilies. Spoilies armed. It's not showing me because I'm in there. And the cabin check, go up top, hold this button for a second, listen for the ding. We're good to go. We are configured for landing. So arming the spoilers and verifying the landing config was the second S in SAD LAS. And the only thing left now is touchdown. And what we're doing in touchdown is idle and reversers.
Descend.
So when we get about 50, 60 feet above the runway, we're going to go to idle.
Descend. Descend.
When we're on the ground, fully on the ground, all wheels on the ground, we're going to activate the reversers. Reversers. And maybe what should we do? Should we do like an exterior like this? At touchdown? Maybe. We'll see. Let's hope this goes well. Are you as nervous as I am? It's always iffy. Okay. We're also looking here for our land mode to become active. Did we get our QNH right? I don't know. I think so. I don't remember. Actually, I'm just going to double check. Let's do that. Do that. See if we can't scroll back here. 1003. Close enough. So we should see on the PAPI lights here, these are the PAPI lights, we should see 2 red and 2 white. That's how you know you're coming at the right slope. I'm not sure what's going on now. I made a comment about the wind earlier. I don't know what I was smoking. The wind is fine. We're coming the direct. I thought the wind was coming from the other direction. I thought that arrow was pointing the other way. I don't know what I was smoking. Maybe I didn't have my glasses on or something.
Minimum 200.
Okay, hopefully this works.
$100.
100. Going to idle.
$50.
Going outside for the landing. All wheels on the ground. Again, I'm not flying. Airplane's doing it by itself. All wheels on the ground. Reversers. We'll wait till it slows down below 40, let's say, so we can control it better. There's going to be a noise. Not that noise.
Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Exit runway when able.
That noise. So to stop that noise, you click this button here. Oh, what did I just click on? I think I clicked on something. Put that away from now. So, there you go. We're on the ground, folks. We can put that away. We can put the flaps up.
Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Turn next taxiway.
Yep, on it, bro. And we can turn the landing lights off. Oh, I was going to turn off anti-ice before we landed, but I forgot. We can turn that off now. We're going to exit the runway right here. I don't know why I said it like that. If this worked for you, if you were doing it,
Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Contact ground on 122.125.
if you were doing it at the same time as me and you
Going to
touch down,
122.125. Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy.
if it worked for you, how you feeling right now? If it didn't work for you, please comment and I'll help you work through some problems. We'll just stop right here. I think we are sort of off the runway. If you want to continue, you can contact request a parking.
Fume ground. Clown Zulu X-ray tree 70 heavy. Taxi to parking.
Okay, I don't get a chance to confirm, but anyway, so you could taxi to your parking spot and unload the wing. I think I might throw a video clip of the wing.
X-ray tree
Oh boy.
70 heavy. Please acknowledge.
Yep. I might throw a clip on there on unloading that, how to unload that if you're interested. And I hope you did it. There's one thing, if it didn't work, it has to do with cursor mode. If you're on the PlayStation or Xbox, if you go into cursor mode, I think I'm going to
X-ray
post a separate video about that.
heavy. Good day.
Goodbye. So I think that does it for today. I hope that worked for you. I hope you gained some knowledge, and thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. So to unload the cargo, all you have to do is go to the cargo page here and click unload cargo. And there we go. Our trolley arrives. Oops. Oh. And there you go. And now I think if you wanted to reload the cargo and bring it to somewhere else, I believe you could do that. Hope you found that helpful.